right, it was Patterns. I love Pattern stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I've got a dark side at night when it's quiet. Home to my wild thoughts, the strange ones, I hide them.
Fucking thank you for not like overproducing the shit out of everything about your voice. This is a really wonderful sound. That's it. We can continue. Sorry. What are you?
I just want to say, you've killed it when all of us shut up for 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
that's not easy to do, as you've noticed. Who are your influences? Because, like, yeah.
For this track specifically, this was a more of a like, because I've been friends with Diego Patterns for a while, and I've wanted to work with him. Well, I've had the honor of working with him on some other tracks already, but specifically, when I made the album, there was this thought in my head, like, I really want a track with Diego. So it was a lot of bouncing between me and him, but we ultimately ended up on this very like bare bones, kind of pulled back a little bit, like almost acoustic kind of vibe. One of our biggest influences. Oh yeah.
Sorry, like I can't help but think of Duvet by Boa, like the Serial Experiments lane opening.
Oh yeah. No, funnily enough, I discovered that song while I was making the album. It wasn't like a specific inspo, but it was definitely like that sort of like the rawness of that song.
Yeah.
I definitely loved. The other one was the what is it? The demo, what's it called? New Kind of Love.
Oh my god.
With
Imogen Heap?
Yeah. That song
Oh,
was
yeah.
big. That was a big influence. And then there was also a lot of other things that we kind of just threw back and forth at each other. But yeah, it was very like, it was supposed to be this kind of like, I don't want to do too much because It's really funny because this is the first song on the album, but the rest of the album does not sound like this because for me, the album was like a chance where I could like really go crazy kind of. Um so the rest of the songs I want to say are very maximalist comparatively. So this one is the one song where I was just like, let's pare it back down for this one because I didn't want the entire album to be just like
I
overwhelming.
I
Yeah.
respect you for putting this song at the top of the album. Instead of like using it more as a bit of a like an interlude between the more maximalist produced songs. I think it's very cool to start off the album like this, as opposed to just using this for like for just like an interlude.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of back and forth about how the track
Mhm.
listing was gonna be, but I personally love me a whiplash moment.
Yeah,
And then
no, exactly.
yeah, I love me a whiplash moment, so there's a lot of moments in the track list of the album where you're just like, "Those 2 songs should not be next to each other," but I feel like it works. And then the other thing is just I think as I was writing the song, because I was writing it closer to the end of rapping, it was like one of the last songs that I wrote,
Hmm.
that and because it had the space, because it was a pared back song that I was just like, "Oh, this song is the place where I can put, like, the thesis for the album." So I
Gotcha.
think this song is called Object Affection, and the album is called Ambiguous Objects. So
Yeah.
this song, if you really look at the lyrics, is kind of the thesis for the entire album, which is why it's at the top.
Cool.
Yeah.
One of
Gonna go for it. You first, Lasaj.
one of the things I struggle with, like a big, I was telling people like, because of my relationship with singing and music was for so long purely vocal and too self-soothing. What I end up picking up from people is like the sound of their voice. I don't know why I can tell you someone's knees are tight from their sound, but I do it regularly. So one of the things I wanted to do with this glaze track thing that Rika and I are doing back and forth, the thing that I noticed is that every time, not every time, but most times when people talk about Riku, their soft palate lifts and their tongue widens, meaning they're smiling a little bit, just a tiny bit more than they were before, which I thought was like one of the coolest things I noticed, like as a pattern. And I wanted to make some sort of I don't write lyrics. I do prose because I use words to meander and discover what I think and feel in a process. And
Yeah.
lyrics are far more deliberate. And but I wanted to experiment with the idea of this is how I feel about like the human voice is like it's like a sunrise, in that there's so many colors depending on the sky, depending on the region, depending on how many clouds there are. Like, but there's a light that I hear when I hear people sing, and too much production, I lose that ability to hear someone's tight knees. You know,
Yeah.
I can't distinguish it anymore. So like that it's bare bones lets me appreciate your voice, which I like. I always like that, and when I get to hear people's sound, because that's like what I get off on. It's not like an artistic merit judgment or anything like that. It's just like personally, like that's the really rich experience. Brain lights up for me. So that was lovely.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I will BRB. My food is about to be here.
No, that's
Ooh,
yeah.
Yeah,
I will leave you guys.
When we did like when we looked at Monty's stuff, I think it was a track an hour. So like, sorry, we might be doing that because like I like my details.
No worries, no worries. I mean, my lyricism, I've been trying to find a way to describe my style, and I think there's two parts of it. The one side of me is the one side that does like the hopefully catchy like pop tunes and whatever. And then the other side is kind of like I like to write lyrics that feel simple. I like to feel like that I'm in dialogue with whoever's listening, or like honestly even with myself. And then I think whenever me and Kagu do breakdown streams of like chalky lyrics too, I like to refer to when I'm talking about the lyrics, I like to say the speaker, which if you know is like a poetry kind of thing. Not to say that I think my lyrics are like poetry, but I think I like to do it from the perspective of like these lyrics are from a perspective of a person who is speaking to you.
All right.
That's kind of my philosophy. Anyway, if you look at the lyrics, I feel like they're pretty straightforward. Yeah, should I read them out or?
Yeah. If you want to even break it up by stanza,
Sure,
that'd be
yeah.
welcome
So
as well.
the first verse is I've got a dark side at night when it's quiet, home to my wild thoughts, the strange ones, I hide them. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. This is just about like me overthinking, genuinely. But I think the main points of this verse is in the last two lines, the strange ones, I hide them. It's about like I want to say that I'm pretty open about I don't know, just talking in general, but I think at the end of the day there will always be like strange thoughts that I have that I will never really tell anyone else. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's just a thing that happens. So then the next verse is ask me a question, the answer, I'll learn it. I've got a blank side, does anyone know it? This one is about how I the side of me that I guess you could call it either like people pleasing or like masking, where I will try my best to fit into whatever scenario that comes up. But I think in this moment, in this song, the idea is that behind all of this masking or behind all of the ask me a question, I will try to learn the answer. I'll try to be the person that you think I am. Behind that, though, it's not so much that I'm hiding a true self, but more so that I feel like I'm hiding a blank self. So then we come to the chorus, which is, tell me the cure for this nameless affliction. What is the cause for my object affection? Tell me the cure for this nameless affliction. What does it mean to feel object affection? So like I mentioned before, this is the thesis for my album. And my album originally started out as like, I had a lot of different concepts for it, but in the end, it was kind of just like it was going to be 10 songs. Each song is going to be about a different emotion or feeling or a side of myself, if you want to put it that way. And at the end of the day, it is because I'm exploring this thing where I don't really feel like I know who I am. So this song is about like, how do we find, like people talk about like soul searching or like finding yourself. But that is so abstract. Like, how do you really do the work to find yourself? So that's what this chorus about. So what is the cure for the nameless affliction in which the affliction is nameless, but also the affliction is being nameless? And then the same thing with object affection is what is the cause for my object affection? Meaning very specifically my attachment to physical things or my wanting to attach myself to literal things so I can get a sense of where I am, so my object affection, but also the other meaning of object, meaning specific, so my object affection.
I only just now realized that double meaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
mean,
nice.
like-
I like that a lot.
Thank you. And and the other part of the double meaning is I like to do this a lot, but specifically in this song, it's very meaningful to me because I feel like I like to overthink and I like to give things a lot of more meaning than maybe they should. But it's kind of like it's the flip side of that. Like maybe the double meaning isn't like necessarily a bad thing. It could just be neutral. Like this is just the thing, and these are the things that I think about. So
Yeah, I always think the term overthinking is interesting, and because I criticize myself with that a lot. But at the same time, like I do enjoy thought, and I enjoy like musing and pondering, and it gives me a lot of joy. It's like a thing to play with, you know. On that note, no pun intended, I swear. Can you go through? Were there any moments where you wanted a particular kind of vocal delivery, or you wanted an overdub, and you made like a choice as a singer to give emphasis to these words?
There's a few. The entire chorus, actually, I re-recorded the chorus multiple times. Well, the first time it was because, let me think. I recorded this song closer to the end of the production cycle for the album, and for a lot of the other songs on the album, I used a more like solid, I want to say, like less breathy tone. So it took me a while to kind of re-find that tone, and I experimented a bit because I have always been told in general in the space that like, or maybe it's just me, but I feel like I've always felt the need that my voice is like it feels too flimsy. So I've always tried to, especially if you're singing like pop songs, or like this comes up a lot when I try to sing like K-pop style songs where I want to make my voice feel more solid and like compressed and all that. There was a bit of a curve in this song where I wanted it to be as close as possible to what my my voice would sound like if I didn't have all these considerations. So this is the closest to, I guess, what my voice would sound like in a weird way if I had no training. So there was a lot of re-recording about that because I was trying to kind of re-finding this tone of voice. And then in the chorus,
do you mind playing a little bit?
Yeah, I can play. Let's see. Well, let me find where it starts. Oh, funny thing. Wait. The breath that happens before, it's actually a bit contrived because that was spliced in because I wanted to keep that in. Oh, now we're back to Odyssey.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The breath at the beginning, and also there's another breath I think before the chorus. That one's more obvious actually.
So it wasn't an aspirates.
Because the problem with the chorus is that it's actually really long to sing in this breathy kind of tone.
Yeah.
I had to break up a lot of bits of it, but I really wanted to have that sharp inhale going into the chorus. So I'm pretty sure what it was is it's a sharp inhale, and then I record a bit of, I think maybe it might be like the first word is actually in here, and then the rest of it is a spliced in from a different take. But yeah.
God, I wouldn't have.
That's really cool.
To make a lot of decisions as a recording artist.
So it's coming up. That one.
I see.
But it's like it's very like, I don't know. Like if I didn't tell you, you probably wouldn't have noticed. But it was a very like, I noticed that, and you know what actually happened is that Diego noticed that I put the breath in, so then he took the guitars out to make it more silent. It was either Diego.
Yeah,
nice.
Silent musician to musician communication.
Yeah, to make it like actually silent because it wasn't silent there before. So
That's what it's all about.
Silence is everything.
And I guess the other specific choices for the chorus is just like, I think in the first chorus, the doubles only come in on the second half. Yeah, this is all doubles here. Because the production here is also relatively pared back, the drum sound.
Yeah.
And then when you get into the second half of the first chorus is when the doubles go in. And then it's the same thing with the last chorus. I think that's where all the like harms and like little ad libs and stuff also come in. If nothing comes natural to start, yeah, this is where all the ad libs and like doubles upon doubles upon doubles. There's actually so many layers of vocals in this because the thing is about vocal doubles is you put them in when you want emphasis, but the problem with that is that it's kind of antithetical to the breathy style of delivery. So if you want something to also be breathy but also have a punch feeling to it, you kind of just have to go like normally if you're doing doubles or triples, you would do what, like the center and then left, right. For this, I think there's 6
Right.
of the same thing. It's a copy of the same thing, but it's just varying levels of breathy.
Right.
Yeah.
Stacked on top of each other.
Are there any whisper takes in here as well?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yes, there are. So specifically, the whisper takes are on the. They're on the. Well, okay. There's whispery singing on the chorus, and then in the day by day. At the post-chorus, for both post-choruses, it's literally just me whispering in the microphone day by day. I'm not going to do that because that feels weird. But also, clicks notice this really one specific thing I did for the post-chorus is I took them out for like 2 of the words and I put them back in at the end, and he was just like, "Did you mean to only have this on the last 2 words?" And I was just like, "Yes, no, yes. Yes." And also the last line of the last chorus doesn't have any doubles on it, and he was really confused because he was just like, "Is this intentional?" And I was just like, "Yes, it is intentional."
I love building down energy like that.
Yeah,
Where you
it's
have
little
like a very
things like
intimate last word.
That's exactly. Oh, and the other interesting thing that's in this song is if we go to the end. So there's nothing on these words, and then the whispers come in. So I don't know if you guys heard that, but that's the actual spacebar click after I finished that take.
Oh, neat.
Nice.
And then
Neat. I really like that.
Plix left it in because he was just like, I feel like that needs to be in the song. And I said, yeah, that makes a lot of
Actually, that's
sense.
such a good storytelling device. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the actual spacebar click for the end of that take.
I love that. I might do something like that at some point. That's a really good storytelling device.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
God,
yeah.
Sorry, it's just like
this also is like that's why I love working with I love working with other people because it's just like I never would have thought to put that in.
That's actually I was gonna say exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Collaborative efforts
but
are
Plix,
the most
Plix saw the value of that and left it in. I was just like, yeah, that's totally totally the vibe.
Now that you say that, I've done that before too when people have sent me vocals and there's like an outtake or something in there somewhere and I listen to that and I'm like, actually that's usable somewhere, and then I put it in and they go, I never would have. What?
I sing this every morning.
I mean, okay, well that was more of an editing thing. Thank you, Connor Dog VA.
Yeah.
But like it's to be fair, that was a kind of deliberate one because obviously when we were working on the Music Box of Fake Community cover, we were like, when Mousy sees this, she's going to sob. Like, I don't think there's any way around it. Even if the final product is ass, just the fact that it got made is gonna make her cry.
She ugly cried.
So we need a palate cleanser that kind of like brings the vibes back. And then, Connor sent in his recording and he literally finishes off his recording with fucking banger of a song, dude. Easy to go along with. I sing this every morning. And then he just hard cuts off the recording. And when we were watching that, we were like, okay, that's how we end the video. We just like cut to Connor just saying that and immediate like mood swing from Mousy in full tears to her laughing her ass off. So it had the exact effect that we needed it to. But like it is things like that. Like sometimes you send your stuff to somebody else and then they're like, oh, that's actually usable. We can use that here. Saber and I had that yesterday. We've been working on an original song together. And at some point I just like played a random chord on piano and Saber was like, okay, literally just record that, send that to me because we need that exact flourish in this part of the song. And then the moment we put it in, I was like, yeah, no, that makes so much sense. We do need that.
I wish I had seen it like live, the back and forth, because like
I mean the VOD is up. You can watch it if you want. I
got so much, but yeah, I'll probably check it out during the weekend which is when like I usually do that kind of thing. Like I mean, all the collabs like that I've been doing, everyone, has got like crazy schedules. So like, it's all kind of like, you don't get to like sit down and work with people. It's all like, I mean, like, it's almost like I've been doing more project management than I've been doing like musical collabs.
Welcome to being a content creator.
Yeah. And
for real.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much because I get to work with some killer people that are just dope. But there is something I miss about just like sitting in a room or sitting in a VC and just like, not being as intentional about it. You know what I mean? And just like being able to be playful. As a bit of a segue to the next thing, like, I know you guys you have your duo and you're just as much individual artists as a duo. But when you do your work together, I don't want to like be like, I don't know if this is okay to ask. Like, do you guys like, are you guys near each other? Like, do you guys hang out on VC? Like, when you work together, what do you guys do?
Ironically, I think we're actually quite separate. Something I think that feels very unique about how Lorien and I work is we kind of just take turns hacking at it. It's almost like
Hmm.
back to the marble in the statue. It's almost like we'll clock in with shifts. I'll like take a hack at the marble and I'll be like, okay, I did this. Here's do whatever, I guess. And then she'll take a hack at the marble and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's nice. Okay. And then I'll take a hack at the marble and we'll take turns kind of thing. And I think part of it is I think we just have, I guess, a specific, I wouldn't say ritual, but just we operate in our specific spaces, and I think it just comes naturally if we just pass things to each other, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very baton pass with us.
Because I feel like we don't get inspired the same way, and it's harder. I think it would probably be harder if we were sitting together in a call all day trying to come up with things together, if that makes sense. If anything, it's more, I think, we get more inspired when we essentially read each other's work and then we go from there.
Right.
And we build from
Yeah.
there. Kind of thing.
That's kind of the feeling, because I think usually how it goes is that Kagu would send me a sketch, and then I will go oh my god, this is crazy, and then I will put my thing on top of the sketch, and then Kagu will be like, oh, I didn't think that it could go in this direction, let me take it back and now try to do something else to it, and then it's back and forth so every time we pass something back and forth to each other, it's always a moment of just I didn't think you could go in this direction, but now that you've gone in that direction, I understand, that totally makes sense to me now. I feel inspired by that, so now I'm going to add my part to the direction. And then it's just the back and forth of that.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
The Daryl, Baji, and I are doing a vocalese, and I would try, I'm trying to think of how in God's name I would sit down with Baji, VC or otherwise, and actually work together on singing in harmony. I think I might actually flip a table if I had to. I might literally just have to drive to IKEA and burn it all down.
What did the Swedes do to you?
I think
they made tables, so they have to be flipped.
That's true. I think being online definitely is, I mean, it's both really, it can be both really fun and also but depending on the kind of workflow that you personally have, it can be a little bit challenging. But I think especially with big online projects, you're kind of just stuck with passing things around sometimes, because especially with time zones and
everyone has their
schedules and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
No, I mean, even how Saber and I were working for the past 2 days, yes, we've both been in the same call and sharing our work in real time, but even there it's a mini back and forth constantly. I will play and record something on piano, send an export of that to Saber. Saber will put it in the project, and then we'll start messing with it, and then figure out how to maybe use that in a way that I didn't think of. And then we also keep going back and forth like that. So it is, we were doing very similar work, but I guess just in smaller segments, as opposed to somebody taking a couple of hours to think about how to do something, sending it over to somebody else, and then that person takes a few hours. But we were still doing the back and forth, right?
I suppose
because I guess with, especially when it comes to music, when there's so many different ways to execute on something, the chance that both of you will see the same vision from the get-go is nigh on zero.
Yeah.
So it's you kind of have to wait for somebody, or take the initiative yourself to outline what your vision is, and then you have to wait for somebody to give pushback on that. And then try and land somewhere where neither of you initially thought of, but that takes both of your inspirations, I guess, into account to create something that I guess transcends something that a person could make on their own.
I suppose I guess this is one of those things where it depends on what building blocks you're working with. So I was before I decided I wanted to go all in on singing, I did jazz guitar, right? Literally the whole one of the whole beautiful things about jazz as a genre is the idea of a jazz standard and this inherent playfulness that you have within that structure and that format. And same thing with accompanist and like art song or an accompanist and an aria. You're playing a piece. It's done. It's there. So then it becomes about the choices. But it is a good point that like when you're kind of starting from scratch and there's a lot of ambiguity and nothing is agreed upon, right? That the idea that I'm sure it happens, but I imagine it's like really uncommon where you just like spontaneously shit out something like together in the space where it just ends up happening organically where there I suppose there would have to be a passing around even if you're in person, right? There has to be a dialogue and a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild how different my background is from like what works in this space. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to do about that. I don't know if there needs to be necessarily anything done about it.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think you having a different background will automatically make the things that you end up creating more interesting to the people in this space because they're less familiar with it.
It'll be a differentiator. I don't know if it'll be inherently more interesting.
No, maybe not inherently, but it'll be like it'll get somebody to like I guess the differences will be noticeable and that'll be an interesting point of discussion.
On that
So-
one, can I bring something in that we can play?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Because I would love your take on this. Because like, we're gonna have to 3, 2, 1 this. I hope you don't mind.